guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. I've been going through some of my stuff that I've previously made in the past. Just want to show you some of my prototypes here. So these are some Matchbook little notebooks, and they have hidden paper clips on them. So you can tuck these into any junk journal, and it'll be a cute little piece of ephemera that, you know, a little unsuspecting item that can go into any junk journal like that. Let me find a blank page, one that you can see it better on. So this is just some double-sided paper that I have that I embellished, inked up, and made this cute little notebook with. Okay, and there's the little tiny pages in here, and it's in the shape of a matchbook. Okay, I made this a while back. I don't remember exactly where I saw this first, but yeah, let's make some. Okay, so to begin with, let me clear my desk. You can use double-sided paper, because that's what this was. This was a double-sided paper that I just pulled out of a paper pack. But I'm going to show you what you can do if you don't have pretty double-sided paper to use. This is just an alternative for those of us who don't have double-sided paper. Okay. So this right here is just a file folder. Let's see. Okay, so I've made many projects with this. This is just a single-sided file folder. So the design is only on one side of the folder. Okay, and I've done lots of projects with these in the past, and I'm going to use this to make those notebooks. All right. So here is, this is the decorated side, this is the plain side. I'm just going to collage this back side without, backside. I'm telling you, the silliest things make me giggle. I'm going to collage this back side of this file folder just so that it can be considered a double-sided piece of paper that we can use in this project. All right. So here I have some of these vintage little stickers that I believe they're stickers. If not, then I will be gluing these down. Some of them may be stickers, some may not. Like that's a sticker. This is a sticker. These are not. Okay, so I will be gluing these down on the back side of this file folder to make something that looks vintagey and grungy. Okay, so let's start with, I think this is authentic. I don't think I have, I think this is the actual certificate of the approval for that paper pack that I bought. I still have here my stack of scraps, and yeah, so I'm just going to use a lot of this to decorate this, and then we can move on to making the other thingamajiggy, the little notebooks. I'm going to use Scotch Create glue, and I will ink the scraps as I go, simply because some of them have been torn with the white edges on there. So I just want to ink whatever is exposed on the white edge side. And I'm not even using an ink pad, so that just goes to show I just have whatever's ink is on my little dauber here. Alright, and so I'm just going to put glue down. This is normally when I'm collaging without any distress medium or Mod Podge or anything like that. I just put glue down and just start sticking stuff. So like I said, I'm just gonna ink edges as I go so that they're not stark white. So I hope you all are having a blast. It's a Make It Monday, so I am just excited to start this week and make things. I don't know how many of you are crafting along with me, but I really hope you guys are giving this a go. So I need something different. Whoa, that's weird. Nice. All right, and let's see what else I have here. So yeah, we're gonna make these little matchbooks. I'm using a fairly thick cardstock. It's already thick as it is. It's a file folder that probably should not be collaged. Normally you'd find something thinner to collage on, but I'm just gonna go in with this because this is what I have on hand. And I'm just basically showing you, like, if you have single-sided pretty paper that you want to use in this project, it's easy to do because, you know, you can just use your pretty paper and collage the other side of it without really causing a fuss. And I know I should be using my little glue mat underneath it, but sometimes you just don't have time and you want to do stuff right now. So okay, let's see. So again, yeah, I hope you guys are having a crafty day and are enjoying this beautiful weather that we're having. No matter where you are, I hope your day it's beautiful. And yeah, I am actually on vacation with my family right now, so this video was pre-recorded. Just FYI. Yeah, I'm at the beach house right now with my family, and yeah, we're just hanging out and probably doing fun stuff, and you know, so I hope you guys are doing fun things also. And this will be a really quick project. You know, it doesn't take a lot to do a hidden paperclip project, so yeah, these will be really quick. And I'm only doing this the long way, just for those of us who don't have double-sided paper. I didn't always have double-sided paper, and I kind of wish someone told me that I could just collage another side of a page and still participate in whatever project that they're working on. It was always, oh, I don't have that, so, well, I guess I can't make that. And lo and behold, there's always a solution to all of our problems. You just have to look, think outside the box, and you know, figure it out. Again, Yeah, so I do have, well, my phone is blowing up. I do have a blended family, so I have children that are older and younger, and you know, it's a little difficult when all of the kids are home, so things are a little chaotic at times. But at the same time, it's always really beautiful when we all get a chance to hang out with one another and you know, do some family stuff. So it works out. It's sometimes it's chaotic, other times it's lots of fun. And when there isn't someone crying, it's usually it's usually a good time. If we don't have a cry fest going on, it's usually a blast. But you know, it's hard to please everyone. All these different personalities and emotions, and you know, it's just a lot. So, well, let's just use some plain old music paper here. Okay. Alright, so now we have that. Okay, on the other side is this. I'm going to give this a quick second to dry. Not very long. It shouldn't take too long. And if I find anything else that I think is worth going on here, I will apply it. But yeah, this should dry fairly quickly, and then we can move on to the next step. So I'll be right back. So I'm just going to use my scissor and cut away all the excess all around. And just to get rid of whatever was overhanging on the sides. Okay. So now we have what looks like this on one side, this on the other. I think that's a pretty good rendition of what we need. Okay, so these were about 2 inches by 2. Well, when it's closed, it's by 2 1/4. But when it's open, you have to take into account that it's probably about 2 by 6. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to 6. Let's just grab my, where's my little guillotine? Here it is. My little chopper. I am going to first cut this down to 6 inches. Oh, my little chopper won't do that. I have to cut this down on my big guillotine, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here is my card. Okay, it's it's 6 by 8, and I'm just gonna cut 2-inch strips out of them. So let's do that. Here's 2 inches. And some of my glue is still a little wet, so we're going to run into problems like this. Alright. Let me just cut the sliver off on the side. Alright. So here's another 2 inches. And one more 2 inches. Alright. So to get the score marks on this right here, I'm just going to tell you what they are based on what the previous one is. This one is 2 3/8, and then 4 and looks like 3/4. So let's try that. I'm going to do the first one. I'm going to score it on the file folder side. 2 3/8. And 4 and what did I say? 4 and what? 4 3/4. Yeah. 2 3/8 and then 4 3/4. Okay. This will fold like that. This will fold like so. And we can round all of our corners. Let me grab my corner rounder. Of course, it's missing. How unprepared am I for this video? Let me just count the ways. I have to go find my corner rounder. I'll be right back. That just goes to show how messy my desk is. I'm using my large corner rounder for this. Yep. And I'm going to round the bottom as well. So I rounded all 4 corners of this one. Okay. So that will fold like that, and this will go right there. And this will be our matchbook. Okay, so let's do another one. 2 3/8, and then 4 3/4. I think the next one I'm going to try 4 7/8. Just to see what that'll give me. Okay, and whatever doesn't stick down, feel free to go back in with your either wet glue or some more glue stick and just get underneath those and stick them down. All right. So I'm going to do 2 3/8 on the first score line. And I'm going to try 4 7/8. Just to see. Oh yeah, that folds a lot easier. So I'm just going to change up my measurements here and tell you that it's 2 3/8 and then 4 7/8. Because this right here folds a lot easier than this one. You can see the buckle on it right there. So, and for this one, because it worked out really nicely, I'm going to use my medium corner rounder because, alright, I think this is our new measurement. 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. Or, yeah, 2 3/8 and 4 7/8. And for my last one, I'm going to do the same thing, just because the paper is just like super thick. If you're using just a standard double-sided sheet, I'm sure you can go in at 2 3/8 and then 4 3/4. But because this one is really thick, it's just buckling when it gets to here. So it's giving me a bit of an issue. So just 2 3/8 and then 4 7/8 if you follow the procedure to make your own double-sided paper. If you are currently using a double-sided sheet of cardstock, 2 3/8 and 4 3/4 should work out really well. Alright, so there are your 2 options. Okay, so let's just put this away. I'm going to work on these 2 right here, keeping in mind these are my prototypes here. Here's the 4th. So the next thing I want to do is decorate this. I'm going to use one of these with the collage side on the outside, and then one with the file folder side on the outside. So we'll have 2 different variations of pretty much the same thing. I'm also going to use just some standard paper. Here. This is just a little notepad from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to use a couple of sheets of this. Alright, and this notepad measures 4 by 6. So I know that each one of these are 2 inches. I can cut this down in half and get 2 little notepads out of it. Using my tiny guillotine, I'm just going to cut this down to just slightly under 2. So 1 7/8 will be my first cut. And I'm going to cut off 2 inches off the bottom. Or actually, I'm going to cut off 1.5 inches off the bottom. So now we have that. You fold that in half, and you have a cute little notebook that will neatly fit right in here. Okay, looks like that. And then we're going to do the old-fashioned staple method. Let me find my little mini stapler. And you can round these corners also to match the rounded corners of the booklet, but it's not really necessary if you don't want to. So this is my little tiny stapler. Some of you may have the tiny Tim Holtz tiny fastener. I'm sorry, I didn't mean tiny. The Tim Holtz tiny fastener. I don't have one of those, so this is what I'm using. This is just my little tiny stapler. It just, you know, it's the same size as the Tim Holtz staple. And I'm just popping 2 staples in there with the stapler open onto some foam and closing up the staples like this. Okay. And there's that. And to keep it closed in the form of a matchbook, I'm just going to pop a couple staples down here at the bottom, and for that I need to close it, but I'll do that after I've decorated the outside. Okay, so this is my outside of this one. When it's closed, this will be up, you know, this way. It's hard to explain, but you want to decorate it when it's closed with everything that you want to put on there facing up, you know, right side up. So here, I'm just going to put on here some vintage bus tickets from Europe. These are Chester City transport tickets. I bought these on Etsy from Camellia Craft Designs, and I love them. They're really cool. These are authentic bus tickets from England, or in this case, Chester City. And I'm using green as my color, and I'm going to use some contrasting colors such as brown and like a purpley lavender color as well. And that's just a vintage stamp. I have here a package of vintage stamps that I also picked up on Etsy from someone selling stamps. Okay, so that will fold upward. Oh, my ring is stuck. Okay, so that will fold upward like that. And on the bottom part of the stamp, I'm just going to place something like that on there. I'm probably going to round the corners. This is just some collaged paper that I stamped. And yeah. And in addition to that, I'm going to use one of these little stamped words that I made, also from a woodblock stamp. Oops. And that'll just be my little word embellishment that says travel. Okay. So they'll be similar to those other ones. I'm unable to round those corners with that one, so I'm going to have to use my We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder. And as long as it can fit in there, it should round these corners for us. Oh, okay. So I'm just going to glue this down onto our little flap. Let's get some more glue on there. Okay. So I'm just going to glue this right onto here. Actually, I'm going to attempt to round the corners on this as well. I know now I have glue on the inside of my corner rounder. That's just great. That's just great, Nicole. Why not make your life even more difficult? Alright, and I'm going to put my little sentiment right on top of it. And now we have that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to show you how we do the hidden paper clip on the back side right here. So for the hidden paper clip, you just take a piece of scrap that you have left over. Grab a paper clip. I'm going to use, excuse my arm, I'm going to use my larger paper clips, okay? And I'm going to put the smaller loop on the inside of the back cover of the little matchbook, okay? And this way you have a much larger loop to clip into your junk journal. And then with that, I'm going to take a piece of scrap, you know, from what we've collaged, and I'm going to place that right on top of that small loop, okay, like so, and glue it down. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it just slightly smaller than 2 inches. Let's see, so about 1 7/8. Okay, and for this I'm going to use Fabrifix glue. And for contrast purposes, I'm using the outside file folder as opposed to the collage side. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So this will now go, whoops, after it's covered my entire finger, it will now go right here on top of that paper clip. And to hold that till it's dry, I'm going to put a little binder clippy thingy right on top of it, just until it dries. Alright? In the meantime, we can take our bottom of our little matchbook and pop 2 staples in there with our little tiny stapler. just very close to the bottom, like not even, like right where the fold is, and I'll show you what I mean. And what you can do is put your decoration on top of that. So I didn't do that, but the next one I'll do that. You can decorate the outside of the little flap after you've stapled it. Okay, I've done this a little bit out of order, just simply because you know, I got a little discombobulated with changing up the sizing, and then, you know, finding paper on the fly. It's just a little confusing, but yeah, everything else is perfectly fine. Follow those instructions. Yeah, and then we have this hidden paper clip that you can clip into a junk journal with in the form of a matchbook little notebook. Okay, and yeah, my house is just very, you know, just chaos right now, total disarray. I have kids that are home, and just total crazy house right now. So again, I can hear the funny thing, I'm not used to having my son home, so I can hear him in the other room. He's just making all kinds of weird noises. I'm like, what is what is going on? What's the matter? Okay, so what did I say? This was 4 inches, so I'm just gonna cut this down to 4. Let's just double check. Nope, 4.5. Okay, yep. Alright, so yeah, I'm glad I double checked. This right here is 4.5, your little notebook. Okay. Fold that. And I'm going to take my collaged file folder. That's the file folder on the inside. This one has the file folder on the outside. Okay, I am now going to decorate it on the outside with, again, the same or similar. I'm going to use this bus ticket instead, which is the same thing, it's just a different color. Oh yeah, that looks great. All right, I'm going to use my Scotch Create glue stick. Place that right there. Grab a vintage bus ticket, a vintage stamp. In a contrasting color. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, so now we have that. And then I'm going to staple in my little notebook. And it's a bit wide, so I have to chomp it down a little bit. Just under 2 inches. Okay, so like 1 7/8, and place that into the little notebook. I'm going to open it up, grab my little spongy, flip it over, and put a staple in right there in the middle. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, close my staples. Alright, and now we have that. Okay, so in addition to that, I'm going to put my staples down at the bottom. This time I'm going to do that first. So this is how much room you have to put your staple in. Okay, do you see that little tiny, I'm sorry, let me zoom you in and see if we can get this to focus. Do you see that little tiny gap right there? That is how much room you have to put this little tiny staple in. Okay, so you want to put your staple in right about there. and that's what's holding your little matchbook closed. Okay, I'm going to do that right next to it. Okay, that one didn't go all the way through, so I'm just going to use a tool to close it up. Or my fingernails. Alright, and that's what's holding your little matchbook. Oh, I'm sorry, let me back you up now. That's what's holding your little matchbook closed. Just that gap. That's all you have to close this. Alright, so once that's closed up, I can now go in with my little stamps for decorations, and I'm gonna corner around this before gluing it this time so that I don't get glue everywhere on the inside of my corner rounder. And when you put down your decorations, it will now cover up your staples. Okay, so yeah, I'll zoom in for you. I know it gets dark when I zoom, but I'm sorry. So this is my little decoration right here. I'm going to cover up these two little staples that I placed. All right, and one's gonna go there. And then this time I think I'm going to use the word inspiration just because. And I'm going to straighten this up because it's super crooked. And this one I'm not going even to attempt to corner around because it's so tiny. Right. And my inspiration will go catty cornered over here like that to cover my other staple. Okay. Alright. I'm going to use Fabrifix glue this time for time's sake. And I know it'll grab really well as it'll stick to that staple as well. So I'm just going to pop this down right there. Excuse me. And I will use Scotch Create on this one. Alright, and there's that. That's what we've got. Okay, so there's our little matchbook notebook. Alright, and I'm almost positive this one is dry. Yeah, there's our hidden paper clip on this one. And there we go. So this one I'm going to do the same exact thing, except instead of the file folder side, I'm going to use the collage side. And Fabrifix. And gluing it down. And clipping it just so that it can hold it in place while it dries. Alright guys, I think this video has gone on long enough, besides the fact that I was not prepared. I was unprepared. I didn't have anything available. Nothing was ready. I just wanted to show you this really quickly, only because I was going through all of my old ephemera that I've made, my old stash of stuff. So these were some old ephemera that I made, some you know, book, what is it, Matchbook hidden paper clips. Okay, so that's what these are, hidden paper clip matchbook notebooks. And yeah, so that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and give this a try, guys. It's really, really simple. All right, have a crafty day, stay naturally curious, and I will talk to you in the next video. Happy Monday. Bye.